Hi guys, hi beautiful people, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about the recently concluded Miss Supranational 2026. Guys, I did a reaction to it, a live reaction to the pageant which was held on Friday last week, and we have a new queen, guys. She is Catalina Legado, all the way from Philippines, and she was crowned new Miss Supranational 2026, and this has sparked a lot of outrage from pageant fans all over the world, and yeah, you guys know that there's been a lot of controversy surrounding her crowning. Even here in Nigeria, there were some persons that had their reservations about the new title holder. Okay. Actually, I want to say a huge congratulations to Nigeria for placing in the competition. We took the third runner-up position, and you guys know, of course, that we had a victory party yesterday on my channel. All right, so congratulations to Gift Inda for making the country for making the country proud. Yes, because this is the first in history that Nigeria has broken into the top five, and not only that, taking the third runner-up position. And she has made history, and she will forever remain in the book of history as the first Nigeria to get to the finals of Miss Supranational. All right, so yeah, Edwarda Brown here is taking her final walk as the uh for the last time as Miss Supranational, and I will say I really enjoyed her reign. She is, and indeed, she is a beautiful queen. Now, going into the competition, I would say that I don't have much to say in terms of production because anyways, let me just say the bits that I know or that I want to talk about in terms of production. The stage this year was kind of different from last year's stage, in the sense that when it came to the evening gown segment, they had about four different locations where the girls were told to make their turns. And I want to also say that even if they came in, they came in individually, there was not enough camera time for the ladies. I would say that next time they should apportion a lot of camera time to the top 10, because at least that will that particular top 10 evening gown segment is where we get to see the gown ladies, how they how they strutted, and how they showcase the gown, um, you know, on stage. But if they don't have enough camera time, it's going to be difficult for us to look at the gowns, have a closer look at the gowns. I think that was where they made a mistake. Next time, the cameramen, or whoever is in charge should give enough screen time to the ladies. And I noticed that most of the ladies were cut off during that particular time. And I would say, in terms of the production, it was okay, but it was more or less like we had musical breaks after every segment. Like, it was more or less like we're looking at a concert instead of a pageant. Well, I'm not saying they shouldn't have, a lot of songs, a lot of performances, but I think it was a bit too much performances in the particular pageant. But I want to say that this time around, I think they did not really waste too much time in the main show. The only thing that wasted, or the only segment that wasted much time, was the musical presentations, and also I think the backstage interviews also were okay, and yeah, that's all I would say for the production. I think next time they should kind of limit the number of musical performances that they usually have in the competition. But all in all, it was a fair result in the top 24. And of course, I was so happy and glad that we had four African countries in the top 24, in the presence of Tanzania, Nigeria, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. And out of my top five, four of my candidates made it except Zambia. So, of course, this was a very good year for for the African continent, a very good year for the African countries, because we saw lot more participation, lot more inclusion of the African countries in the top 24, which of course I was really really happy about, because I know how well the African countries have prepared, or how they prepare for the competition. So I wasn't really 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 surprised when they placed, but I was more surprised when we had four African countries in the top 24, which is the first time in history we're having that. Okay, so going forward, we had two African countries placed in the top 12, which are uh, Nigeria and Tanzania, placing in the top 12, and Nigeria also broke into the top 5, which was a very 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 huge victory for Nigeria, because at this point we've not really gone very far in the supranational competition, but Gift has broken the record for the Nigerian contestants. Okay, and in terms of the Q&A, I would say that that was where the whole issue came about, in terms of people saying, "Oh, the winner was handpicked." At the end of the day, before then, I'll talk about the continental winners, which was given to Tanzania from Africa, Czech Republic for no, sorry, was it Czech? No, Poland. Was it Poland for Europe, and you know um the other countries? Let me just focus on the African region for now. Tanzania was granted the Continental Queen of Africa title, which believe was well deserved for her, because I feel like Tanzania actually did a lot. Like, she was number one on my list, and she really, really performed in this competition. So it was a well deserved placement for Tanzania, and I wish her the best in her continental role. And also, now coming to the top five, which I was talking about earlier, the top five, I would say that during the Q&A, Nigeria gave a very, very, very good answer. In fact, she answered on time before the what they call it, the timer ended. Nigeria had answered that question, and she was prompt, she was concise, she was precise, and she hit the nail on the head. But at the same time, I was so surprised when the results were called. Countries like Philippines did not answer the question very well. Brazil tried, given the fact that she doesn't speak English. Same with France, Czech Republic as well. But Czech was the favorite candidate coming into this competition. When she was called up as fourth runner up, a lot of persons were really surprised, and Nigeria came third, and Brazil came second. France, of course, got this first runner up position. For the winner, Philippines, for me personally, I would say that the winner was actually handpicked, because we had stories before the competition that there was going to be, they had already handpicked the winner. So we're not like, oh, is this story true or not? But at the same time, everybody that that saw the results said that the winner was actually handpicked. But what do you guys think about it? Do you think it's true, or do you think it was
Anyways,
just a
I
mere
know that
fallacy?
Filipino fans, they are really, 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 really supporting their queen. But there are some persons too that, that they not were not really okay with her winning the competition. They were not really okay with the fact that she won, and they felt, oh, the pageant was rigged, in favor of Philippines. And a lot of persons were saying that she was actually bullied in her own country as well. But I don't know how sure it is. It was just allegedly. But what do you guys think about the winner? Do you think it was a well-deserved victory? Given the fact that she didn't really answer the question very well, she didn't do well in the Q&A segment. What do you guys think? Because following the track record of Miss Supranational, they really don't crown strong speakers. Yeah, so they really do not crown great speakers or the best of the best speakers. We already know this history given what happened last year. But what do you guys think about Philippines winning the pageant? Do you think it was a well-deserved victory, or do you think she was really, really handpicked, like some persons claim? All right, so comment down below about that, and yeah, I will see you all in my next video coming up very soon. Bye.